At Simple Mobile, you get the no-contract advantage. Those other mobile companies make you think you're in control, but you're really not. They lure you in with shiny new phones and then lock you into long-term agreements. But Simple Mobile is different. You can get a 30-day plan starting at $25. You can also get the latest smartphones, or if you have a compatible phone you love, you can bring it. Just text BYOP to 611611 to see if your phone is compatible. It's the reliability you need when you need it. All on a powerful nationwide 5G network. With no mystery fees, no activation fees, and no contract ever. All for less money and no contract ever. 5G capable device and SIM required. Actual availability and coverage and speed may vary. 5G network not available in all areas. 5G upload speed not yet available. Message and data rates may apply. Visit simplemobile.com/privacy policy for privacy policy. Service plan required for activation. Terms at simplemobile.com.
It's the Buzz 24/7 at morningbuzz.com.
This is unbelievable.
Now that's what's up.
Hey, baby. Thanks for checking out the Buzz 24/7. It's Friday, so we got Archive Friday for you. Guy's been in the news this week because after having a bit of some type of heart event on the set of his news show, Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk, great actor, is back on the set. So he's back working. And lo and behold, we can dig into the archives and give you a chat we had with Bob Odenkirk back. God, I don't even know. Let me see here. Can I dig out how long ago this was? It was like 5-6 years ago. 7 years ago, I think. Yeah, 7 years ago when he was talking with us about Breaking Bad. Ladies and gentlemen, today's Archive Friday. An interview with Bob Odenkirk. All right, yeah, we're waiting for the fabulous Saul Goodman, the lawyer for Breaking Bad. He's also a comedy writer, and he was in Fargo and more. Bob, just put him up. Bob Odenkirk joins us. Bob!
Hi.
Hi there.
Hey.
I thought
I'm a dog.
Okay, I didn't know what that was. I was like, what's going on with that?
That's my dog playing with a toy.
The thing, Bob, is that when we do, I never know what's going on the other end. At least I'm in a studio.
I'm standing on my porch, and the dog's playing with this loud toy. And it's a beautiful day in L.A., and I'm a lucky man.
Good for you. Bob Odenkirk joins us, of course, from Breaking Bad. You've seen him in a lot of different other things, but also he's got a brand new book out called A Load of Hooey, and it's like short, funny stories, humorous stories, right, Bob?
Yeah, it's a little bit insulting.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of language, a lot of tasty language in it. Mm-hmm. You don't want the kids to read, so it's not something to leave on the kitchen table. But if you've got a toilet that pretty much only adults use, you would want this sitting next to it, as long as they're not easily...
I love that you see it that way. I wonder if, when you were a kid, you thought, someday I want to write a book that adults can read
on the toilet.
When they're on the toilet.
But I think that is the greatest thing.
Of course I did. The things that you read the most in life. I wanted to write a book you could read on the toilet. I wanted to write the back of a cereal box.
Yeah,
that's what I think the greatest honor in writing a book is if you keep it on the back of the toilet, that means you're encouraging other people to come and sit down at your house and have a book.
And it's interesting, Bob, you said cereal box, because as a kid, and even as an adult now, when I sit if I should eat cereal, and I do, I read the box. Right. I still read the box.
They should explain, they should explain complex economic theory on boxes of cereal.
On the back,
people would start to.
You're right.
It would be a real opportunity to wisen us all up.
You would be right. You'd be right, because if I could read something like that on the back of my Frosted Mini Wheats, I would be in seventh heaven right there. I would love that. Hey, congratulations not only on the book, but obviously, and I know it was like the longest goodbye tour ever for Breaking Bad, but man, oh man, just to be a part of that show, what an amazing piece of television that turned out to be.
Yeah, it was, came out of nowhere, I think, for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I came in at the end of the second season.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know what I was joining into. The show still hadn't picked up yet.
Yeah.
In popularity.
Mm-hmm.
It really didn't get going until Netflix started streaming it, and after the third season. And the popularity of that and the excellence of it even were things that I don't think anybody was aware of completely.
Go ahead.
When did you realize, I think we got something here?
What was it? Was there an instance when all of a sudden you said, holy crap, this thing is bigger than I ever could have thought?
Yeah. It really took way longer than you can imagine. Whenever I tell people Oh, yeah, the third season was still like, just a few fans here and there. I didn't even know what was going on yet because I had 2 kids at home. They were little at the time.
Right.
And whenever I put Breaking Bad on to watch it, they'd walk into the room, and I'd have to shut it off and go, I can't have that on at all because they could walk in on, Gus Fring.
Right.
Taking somebody apart with a box cutter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And so the third season, which is to say, the third season of the show, my second season, I didn't watch the show until after the third season played. Mm-hmm. And I used to go down there and act my scenes, and occasionally I'd get the emphasis wrong on a line, and Bryan Cranston would look at me and go, "You haven't watched the show, have you?" And I just laughed because I didn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
It was it was disrespectful. But I had little kids, and I couldn't find the moment.
Yeah.
But then it was after that third season played, and really kind of not until we started shooting the fourth season. That's when you got the sense, because people started, actually streaming shows on their computers more.
Yeah, right.
That people were doing that binge watching, and then it just snowballed crazy. So it's still going. I still have people come up to me and go, "Last weekend I watched the whole thing. I finally watched it all in one weekend." People literally watch it end to end.
That's how I did it, Bob.
3 days.
Yeah, that's how I did it. I was a binge watcher because I knew it was good. Everybody talked about it, so I ended up binge watching it. And I find it funny, just to go back for a second, you were talking about the kids coming in the room. Now, here you are, obviously a television star. You've been a comedy writer forever. He's an extremely well-known comedy writer with the new book out, which is called A Load of Hooey. But, it is those things like you just talked about, well, I couldn't watch it because the kids would come in. At that point in your life, when we have little kids, we don't have any time for anything else, right? We're all the same. I don't care how famous you are, but when you have little kids, it's all about whatever they're about.
Yep.
Right then and there.
Yeah, they run everything. There is a bit of resentfulness of like, wait a second, when do I get my life back? Do I never get it back?
Never.
You do, though. You do. When they become teenagers, you can start to feel like, you know what, get out of my way. I take up space, too.
Yeah, that's right.
But when they're little, you really do no, it's supposed to be about them, and you're supposed to, they're not supposed to walk into rooms and watch guys take each other apart with box cutters because that will stick with them forever.
Well, how old are the kids now, Bob? How old are your kids?
Well, now they're 13 and 15, and I've never shown them the show, but they watched it. My son, Nathan, watched the entire Breaking Bad in after he got home from summer camp. He didn't tell me.
Right.
He just came up one day and said, "Dad, I watched the whole thing."
Yeah.
So, but he's 15, and all his friends watched it 2 years ago. So
yeah,
and then I don't know if my daughter likes that much blood, but
my son was 18, and he was texting me back and forth when we were watching it. We were both watching it on Netflix. He's like, "Dude, did you see that?" And it was just kind of funny that we're bonding over Breaking Bad. It was just kind of
awesome.
You'd never expect that,
Were you happy with the way it ended?
Yeah, sure I was. I don't. Part of it is, I guess you're asking me personally watching the show?
Yeah, when it was done, for me personally, I wasn't involved with it like you were. I went, fantastic.
Well, first of all, as being part of that team, you want it to work for the audience because so many shows have kind of not worked.
Yep.
Their endings. And, however much the creators are proud of the personal choice they make, you want it to work for people because it's a great feeling to have the fans go, "Thank you, that worked.
Yeah.
You made me happy." So I think it did pretty resoundingly. So that alone makes me really happy. Mm-hmm. I actually can't wait to watch it again. I've watched it 2 times, the series, and it's been about 2 years, year and a half since I sat down and watched it all. I think I could watch it again.
Yeah.
As well as Fargo.
Agreed.
Not considering watching my own stuff, but those are 2 series that I found really enjoyable.
I caught up on Fargo. I got to the 5th episode. I was so into it, and then they took it off of On Demand. And so now I'm stuck, and I'm waiting. I'm in limbo, and it's killing me. But, we're sitting here talking about the show and everything and how well it's done. And I know you have the spin-off Better Call Saul coming up. I can't wait to see that. But you all, you've been writing comedy forever. And here are these weird dramatic roles when you basically, before then, been known for being funny. I think it's awesome that it took kind of that turn, even though Saul was funny and dramatic at the same time. Characters like that are like the best, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's a different kind of funny than what I've done. I've done sketch comedy my whole life. I was on Saturday Night Live as a writer.
Right.
I did Mr. Show with David Cross on HBO. I helped create Tenacious D TV show. I helped create Tim and Eric's Awesome Show.
Yeah.
And now I currently have a sketch show on that premieres in like a week called The Birthday Boys on IFC. So I've done sketch comedy, which is, fairly broad and silly stuff.
Right.
And then Saul is, meant to be a real guy. He's funny, he makes wisecracks, and he's humorously composed.
Yeah, right.
His socks are lime green, and he's got a paisley tie. But he's meant to represent a real kind of person, and I've certainly been told by a lot of lawyers that there's that he's representative of a certain kind of lawyer that's real.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. This is, we're on the phone with Bob Odenkirk, who's got a book out called A Load of Hooey, some comedy writings of him. And you've known him from Breaking Bad, and Better Call Saul debuts, I think, in February. Go ahead.
At what point did you find out you were going to get your own show? Was Breaking Bad all done, wrapped up, a while later, or was it during that time?
It was during, Vince would always bring it up to me. Vince Gilligan created Breaking Bad, and he oversaw the whole thing, every detail. Mm-hmm. And after my second season on there, and during my second season, we ran into each other in the hallway, and of course everyone joked right away about a spin-off for Saul because they just liked the character. The crew would make a wisecrack and stuff.
Yeah.
And he said in the hallway, what do you think about that? I think there's a show in it. And it's kind of like looking a gift horse in the mouth or staring at your lottery ticket. I just went, oh, look, if you want to do it, that's fine, yeah.
Right.
I didn't want to examine it too much or hope for it or push for it or anything.
Yeah.
So I would always, he would always say it when we'd meet at various awards shows or at the end of rap season party. He'd always ask, do you think there's a show there? I think there is. And in the end, I really went to him and said, look, if you think there's a show there, there's a show there. It doesn't really matter what I think. I will show up if you write it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's something you want to show up for. I know we're running out of time, Bob, but real pleasure to get a chance to talk to you. I just got A Load of Hooey, so I'm looking forward to reading it, especially the Martin Jr. King's worst speech ever. I can't wait to read that.
Yeah, Martin Luther King's worst speech ever. Yeah,
all right.
Great.
Great to talk to you, Bob.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate your work. Thanks very much.
Here are 3 common sense ways to prevent vehicle theft. 1. Park in a well-lit space. 2. Don't leave valuables in sight. 3. Close your windows, lock your doors, and take your keys. Find more tips at heatreward.com/prevention.
Yeah, they cut us off. I don't know, when you asked did he like the series, the way it ended, I can't imagine there's anybody that didn't.
Probably.
Right? I mean,
one of the best endings.
Most fulfilling endings of any series that I've ever followed.
I don't believe it could have gone any other way.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question.
No.
Did Bryan Cranston make this series as good as it is, or was it the series better than Michael Cranston?
Well, there's no Michael Cranston. There is a Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
They took something, when I listened to the director and producer, they had no money. And the show became huge when it was done. She said the first season struggled. Second season struggled. Third started to take off, and then the show became huge. And she said, you know what? And it was the first prime example of binge watching. People would be like, what is this? Bang, sit down and stuff. And the show is amazing.
You know what's weird? He was a really bad guy. His character was a really bad guy. Never once did I hate him. Never once did I go,
was he bad because that he was making meth, or because there's nice people who deal drugs.
They have to do bad things.
No,
I'm
dude.
with Andy.
Yeah, I'm with Andy too.
No, he became,
I know some meth
no,
guys that are nice.
No, I don't. None of them. Zero. None. Not one. Okay. There you go, everybody. Archive Friday. Hey, thanks for checking out the Buzz 24/7. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you on Monday. Enjoy the weekend.
I was ashamed to smile. My missing and decaying teeth affected my relationships, my career, my self-esteem, and my health. Now I have my life back. I even got a promotion at work. Dr. Golpa's dental implant procedure is a miracle.
Thanks to the exclusive technology and revolutionary approach developed by Dr. Golpa, it's now possible to replace failing teeth or ill-fitting dentures with beautiful, permanent teeth in just 24 hours. Don't suffer another day. Just go to yourteeth.com for more info.